Walk a Mile in Her Shoes in support of Gillian's Place comes up October 17th, this Saturday. Here to talk about that and much, much more from Gillian's Place, let's welcome Nicole Regehr.
A pleasure to be here.
Nicole, we'll talk about Walk a Mile in a few moments. Let's talk about the stress that Gillian's Place is under right now with the pandemic and with continued domestic abuse, women facing these issues.
Yeah, so I mean, we know that, and I think most people know that across the globe, domestic violence has increased. That's certainly not different here in Niagara. At the shelter and at Gillian's Place, we did notice at the start of when isolation measures started back in March, a decrease in women coming to shelter and a little bit of a decrease in women reaching out. And typically women will wait until their partner's at work or out for groceries, and that's when they'll reach out and make a call or come to Gillian's Place.
That's a real concern, right?
It's a real concern.
That's when you have the opportunity to make that quiet phone call.
Exactly.
But if he's always in the home, you can't do it.
No, you just can't find the physical space, right? And that, coupled with increased stressors of unemployment and the virus, it's really a pressure cooker. So we've been very, very concerned about women, and home isn't always the safest place for everybody. As isolation measures back in June started to lift a little bit, we noticed there was quite an increase in demand of our services across the board, anywhere from 30 to 60% increase in demand on our services. Things are starting to level out a little bit. But as we look at increase in COVID cases and potentially just today they've announced the closing of restaurants and bars and in Toronto and some of the bigger cities, and if that happens here, we're going to be right back in the same boat where women aren't as easily able to reach out to us. So we're always looking for ways. We're every day thinking of ways that new ways that we can reach women where they are, and we offer everything virtually.
They can reach you via text and online as well, right?
Yeah, and actually, we did notice a bit of an increase in our text messages that were coming in, because it's a little easier to do that in secret and in private, to text rather than call. So that support line, is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by phone or text. And that's really both for women, who need our support, but also for friends and family members who need advice on how to help a loved one. And, the best advice that we can offer during this time is, if you're worried about somebody, check in on them. I mean, isolation is already a measure and a tactic that abusers use to gain power and control over their victim, and so to further isolate them creates a really dangerous situation for women. So we really encourage our community to just check in on your loved ones. Give a phone call. If you can't go visit, text message, phone, whatever you can, just to check in and let them know that you're there.
How are your employees? How are the Gillian's Place psychologists, sociologists? How is everyone dealing with all of this?
Yeah, I think, in the first couple of months, it was really kind of all about COVID and how we were going to adapt. And now we just need to operate in this new normal. Our staff are already very resilient. They deal with a lot. And, I think that we have some of the best people working for us, especially during this time. And everybody has adapted and are offering their programs in different ways, via Zoom calls or phone messages. We even have iPads in our lobbies. So, if the physical distancing isn't able to happen, or women are more comfortable, they can do a Zoom call right from our lobby with one of our counselors rather than a face-to-face. So we've really, shifted things to make sure that we can offer the same level of service, but in a new way.
When you look at funding, is there any danger during this? Because I know it's been very difficult for all charitable organizations, all nonprofits, to raise funds since March. What effect might that have on Gillian's Place?
Yeah, I mean, funding is always precarious, right? We do receive government funding, and that's remained consistent. But we have to fundraise $500,000 every year to sustain our current operations and run our programs at the capacity we do now. And we've had to cancel several events. We had a gala scheduled for March 25th, and of course, the world shut down on March 15th. Another event in June we had to cancel, and then of course, our signature event, Walk a Mile in Her Shoes, we couldn't really let the year go by without that one.
Right.
But we had to do it in a whole new way. We had expected and hoped to raise over $130,000. Now, we've really adjusted that. We're hoping to raise 50. I think we'll meet it. We're doing it in a very different way this year, but people are so supportive of this event and of Gillian's Place, and they've shifted with us, and so it's we're excited about what's going to come next weekend, and to see people walking all over the city.
What are the changes?
Typically, the event is for men. They walk in heels or in female footwear around the Penn Center. This year, we really, because we're in such a different situation this year and really need so much support, we're inviting everybody to walk. So we're kind of trading in the heels and the fancy footwear for family and friends. So we're asking full families to walk, men, women, children, in their own neighborhoods. So we have an interactive map on our website, so you can go on and see where everybody else is walking. We have people as far as North Bay participating, which was kind of a happy thing to happen, not something that we were expecting, but people even outside of the region, are supporting the event. And so it still kind of creates that sense of community that you can see that where other people are walking. But just in your own neighborhoods, to choose a 1 mile route, we're asking families and teams to decorate, be it their front porches or their balconies or their storefronts in hot pink. That's our signature color for the event, to raise awareness in their own neighborhoods. We have a contest for best dressed house. It's always been a fun event for a very serious situation, and we still want to keep it that way. And so, we hope that some of the things that we've done this year will maintain that same feeling. And I think so far people are enjoying it, and their family and friends seem to be supporting them in droves. So that's
I'm sure
great.
it's going to go swimmingly.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us today, Nicole.
Oh, thanks so much for having me, Mike.
And good luck with Walk a Mile.
Thank you so much.